Alive?
Say hello,
We live? Okay, cool. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Touhou Luna Nights, the early access build. Today we're going to be showing off the first 3 stages that are a part of the game at the moment. And are we ready to begin? Just be 2 seconds. So for context, this is a Touhou fan game which has been licensed, so all the rights to the characters are sorted, and this is a really cool 2D Metroidvania style game. So, ready? Okay, time will start when I hit new game. So in 3, 2, 1, go! Are we crashed? Sure. Keep going, okay.
Keep going, it's just the timer.
Okay. So in this game, we are going to be playing as the maid from the Romelia's mansion. We have multiple skills at our use. Our main skill is throwing knives, in which that is dependent on our mana bar at the top. We can regenerate mana by doing a few different things. We can pick up knives after we've thrown them, and we can also graze enemies. Grazing is a mechanic found in a few different games of the bullet hell genre, where being close to enemies that can damage you causes you to gain score or something. In this game, it's used to regenerate mana. So first off, we're going to be picking up the clock. So the story of this game goes is we've been transported to this other world, and the idea being that almost all of our powers have been stripped from us. Luckily, this character is very helpful, and she's going to give us a watch, which allows us to do what this character should be able to do anyway, which is stop time. So when we're in time stop, all the enemies around us will allow us to regenerate our time stop ability, which is the clock at the top. So here we're just taking care of enemies, and we'll be going to the next part of the game, which is collecting the slide power-up. We're going to keep the time stop going here because we need to cross this lake. So in this game has a few different puzzles and such. For example, to cross a lake, you must be in time stop because that causes the lake to stop moving. Aside from that, we're just going to be throwing knives to make sure that we can take care of the enemies. Whenever we can, we'll be throwing down diagonal knives to extend our hover. For example, here, so we can do that instead of pausing time. Do that to take care of him. But I also do want to keep an eye on my mana, because if I spam knives too much, then we could be running low, which can get pretty dangerous. I can graze these enemies for a bit of extra. Almost. Get that room confused with the next one. So if I build up snail time here, so the other mechanic we have is instead of just stopping time completely, we can go into snail time, which is effectively a bullet time mechanic. So here I'm going to deal with these spirits. Jump up.
Do we have time for a quick announcement?
We have time for an announcement, yes.
Fantastic. After a $5 donation that didn't want their comment to be read, we have reached $300!
So now we've unlocked the slide power-up. The significance for that is there was a few small gaps which we couldn't get under before, which actually allows us to progress. There's a tight jump there to not have to wait for that guy. But now we're going to be taking the slide power up and going back a bit, so just a bit of backtracking first. I think these jumps are a bit weird when doing it in reverse. For example, that's a bit of a puzzle there where that's a waterfall, so you couldn't do the same thing of stopping time as we did before, as that would cause it to act like a wall. When we're throwing knives, we can throw knives either down the way, up the way, or at a diagonal angle, or to the sides. So this character is really versatile in how we can deal with the enemies. So upcoming here is the save point, and then after this is the room where we need the slide. take care of that enemy there by sliding. I'm going to stop time here and deal with most of these enemies. Almost. I accidentally hit some of the Tanukis at the bottom. They contain spirits within them, so I was trying to avoid hitting those, but I just about missed them. Take care of those spirits, and sail over here. Reserve my mana for dealing with that cat. So whenever we see a vending machine, that's going to allow us to regenerate our health. And upcoming is the first boss. Now there's 3 different things which I'll be doing to take care of this boss very quickly. I'm not going to be commentating it too much because it can be a bit of a pain. Almost, and this should be the last one I can throw now. There we go. So a lot of these fights are going to be a mixture of stopping time to position myself and snail time to be able to get in a lot of damage very quickly during slow phases. Whenever we're in time stop, throwing knives and any other mana using ability no longer consumes mana, but instead consumes the time gauge. The time gauge also naturally depletes whenever we're in the time stop. So there's all these blades here. We can just slide under most of them for the most part. The fairies are more of a pain than anything else. So we're going to be coming down to the left here, saving a game, and we're going to be going off on a bit of a corridor to unlock the double jump, which will make this game far more bearable. Damage beast down here. Take care of him. We'll time this, and then you don't need to slow down time. So this red fog here causes time paralysis. When you're suffering from time paralysis, your time gauge is completely depleted. Gonna graze off these enemies and then slide through this room. It's a long corridor. If there's anything you'd like to read, now would be a really good time.
Thanks. Well, we don't have any donations, but I could talk about some of our upcoming incentives. We have, still on the main character name, we have a bunch of names here that are in the lead. We have Louis in the lead with 10. I believe My Bro has another $10, but it's here twice, so I'm just gonna sum them together and say My Bro, $10, and then My Dude has another 5. So they're all very close together, so it's gonna be a very fun competition. But the main monster name incentive has yet to have any bids on it, so that's a free snipe right there if you want to get a monster name in there. Besides that, we are at 90 out of $200 on Crash Team Racing Warp Glitch Showcase, which is, I mean, come on, we're halfway there. Shouldn't be too hard.
There we go. Okay, I struggled with a bit there due to the time fall causing the snail time to stop. However, now that we have the double jump, we're going to be performing Yellow Skip. Yellow Skip is significant as the reward for fighting the second boss is the yellow key. And by performing Yellow Skip, we don't actually need to fight the next boss. We're saving the game there, and now we're going to reload. The reason for that is whenever you reload the game, you start with full health and full mana. That was just to restore health, because we are going to be doing a damage piece here. So I'm going to be manipulating these fairies very carefully to be on the left-hand side of the screen, as having both of them on the left will make this way easier. I'm going to slide towards the door, turn around as late as possible, and then hope that the bubbles allow me to damage abuse through the wall. Almost. Almost. I think my timing's just a little off here. There we go. Let's hope I don't die. So because of that, we've skipped the entirety of the rest of Stage 2. We're now in the final stage of the game. And now we're going to be throwing grip skip, which is, well, it's more or less what's happening through the entirety of stage 3. So there's a corridor up to our left there that we just didn't go up. That contains the grip, which allows you to stand on knives during frozen time. However, with well-timed double jumps, we can make a lot of these jumps. So I get my timing right. There we go. So there's the first grip jump done. Going to use diagonal knives to hover over here. There we go. This room looks intimidating, but until you realize it's a cutscene.
Do we have time?
We have time.
We have a $110 donation.
Pog Champ.
Pog Champ. It's from Anonymous and it doesn't have a comment, but we are incredibly thankful for your generosity here. I believe, actually, let me check. Yes, the Warp Glitch Showcase has been met with that $110 donation. Absolutely incredible.
I'm going to break down this wall here to unlock one of the secrets. This is 1000 Dagger. It allows us to throw 1000 knives, and it's pretty flashy. You guys will see it. We'll be using it on the final boss and the next room as well for some safety strats. Here's another puzzle. It's pretty easy. Just slow down time, and then you can go under there. So we're going to skip most of this room. So things that are green, certain things are pretty certain colored. Most of it only appears in stage 2 for the first time. But anything that's green will only move during stop time. So I was taking care of those guys. I'm going to throw some knives against the walls to be able to regenerate some mana. And this is the other skip, which we normally use the grip for. Almost. This is probably the hardest trick in the game, so it might take me a few attempts to get this. There we go. Okay, here we go. So slide under all this here. Unpause time so those guys can move about. Finally regenerate our health and save for the last time. And upcoming here is the final boss of the early access build. There's a lot of things I need to be careful of here. Going to be throwing knives whenever I can and using 1000 Dagger pretty often. Going to be doing time stop 1000 Dagger in the air, and I was facing the wrong way. Whoops. Going to be grazing off most of these to regenerate our health whenever we can. Gonna get into. There we go. That's what I meant to do. I want to do that as high as I can. That was the wrong button. Fortunately now we're actually going to be pretty low on mana, so I'm going to have to play this pretty carefully. So we're going to graze off all of these to generate as much mana as we can. That gets us back to 100. Throw all these and initiate this. Fortunately, oh, perfect. So during time stop, when you're throwing the 1000 knives, it normally doesn't work because you hit the knife cap. However, I let that drain. Oh, almost. I just missed the 40 mark. However, if you use the time stop, if you cast 1000 knives at the final bit of the time stop when it hits 40, then you can actually cast 1000 knives within time stop. I mean, do the best to dodge these and not stop time. Unfortunately, I missed a lot of the knives there. Dodge these. Haven't quite gotten to the next phase yet. Fortunately, we did miss a lot of hits early on. That's nothing we cannot recover from. Well, then we're just going to be trying to deal as much damage as we can. Almost. So now she's entering second phase, which effectively just means that her attacks are going to be a little more brutal. Although that shouldn't pose enough of a threat to be worrying. Just gonna use this to throw a few knives. Dodge as much of these as you can to build up the graze. When the time stop here, throw knives. A little low on health, but that's a-okay. Should be able to get her next time she swoops down. This phase is a little different now that there's bullets on the side. There we go, double 1,000 knives should be able to stop her here. Time stop. There we go. Okay, time's going to be coming up in a few seconds here. So time will be coming up when the final D in To Be Continued appears.
Oh, it's surprisingly short.
So this is the end of the early access build. There's still 2 more stages to be added. Possibly a 3rd, who knows. Time will be coming up now. So we had a half-hour estimate, and we've still got some time. Let's show off that Marisa fight.
Yep, the incentive has been met, so you can go ahead and do that.
So where am I? Okay, we're in this room. So you guys didn't see this fight at all because we actually completely skipped this boss. I've got a little bit of time, so I'll show you guys the original speed strat that we used during this fight, and then the hard mode fight. So Marisa is supposed to be the second boss, and we get the yellow key from her. Normally in this route we'd have actually picked up chainsaws, which is a really good source of damage against bosses. Gonna manipulate her so she's traveling in a certain way. She travels off to the left here. I think I got that right. It's been a while since we've done this, because the strat's not really used anymore. So yeah, so that's how you do Marisa during a speed run in the event that we no longer have a way to fight and no longer have a way to skip her. But let's show off the hard mode. So one of her attacks is to summon these colored orbs around her, and if you do that manipulation but get her to go off screen in the other direction and hit her with a chainsaw, I'm not sure of the exact specifics, but it's quite lenient. You can cause it so those colored orbs will stay around her indefinitely. And no promises that I'll be able to beat her, but I'll at least show it off to you guys and give it my best shot. So I think I need to lead her... There we go. There we go. So now she's gone into phase 2, but she's still got this attack going around her. So this is Master Spark. Pretty tough move. So we're gonna go into snail time here. Be careful and move around it, because normally you would just duck under it. Almost. So unfortunately, due to the time paralysis, I'm not actually regenerating much of the... Almost. Almost. And some of these are just undodgeable as well. It's a bit of a pain. We're gonna give this one more go. No, this is the hard mode. Oh, is this the hard mode? Okay. Yeah. So the hard mode is if you fail that trick, she becomes basically invincible. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, she'll go off screen here. There we go. This is set up again. There we go. There we go. Almost. Almost. Gonna go into use that to build up the time stop. There we go. Just need to be really careful of some of these attacks. Oh hey, it disappeared. Oh well. Well anyway, that's the Marisa fight. Unfortunately, wasn't quite able to take her down there. But that is hard mode Marisa. And you guys should look forward. The full release of this game should be coming out sometime over the next at least over the next 2 months. I think they said it was about 3 months till full release, and that was almost 3 months ago. So look forward to the full release of this game in not too long. Till then, keep watching UKSG, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the marathon.